Terminating an employee is not a pleasant task, but with proper planning, it can be a smooth transition for your company. My name is Nina, and I'm about to get in your business. No matter how much you need to terminate an employee, no matter how much better your company would be without that person, terminating an employee is still an unpleasant task. I've terminated over 30 employees between 2004 and 2016, and the only solace that I take is that the actual termination process for me is completed in a brief time. With proper planning, I am able to complete a termination in under 10 minutes, meaning from the time the employee sits down in the pre-designated area to the time he has been escorted off the property. That time takes me 10 minutes or less. Long ago, I created a termination checklist that I still use today. Of course, I've updated it over the years, but I'm going to share some of that with you right now. Is there an incident that happened within your company where the employee can argue that there was wrongdoing on your part? What can you do to limit your company's exposure prior to any termination? Prior to any termination, if you can think of anything where an employee could possibly bring litigation against you, please, I advise you to consult with an employment attorney, because it'll be cheaper for you to consult with the employment attorney before any type of litigation than after. Gather all your documents related to the reasons why you are going to terminate this employee. This includes written warnings, dates of verbal warnings, disciplinary documents, employee policies that were violated throughout the employee's tenure, counseling sessions, emails from management or other employees related to that reason why that employee is going to be terminated. Ensure that the employee, once they were hired, submitted all of your new hire documents. And I'm hoping that you do have things like non-competes and non-disclosure agreements and things like that. Plan who's going to perform the terminated employee's duties once they are gone. If you have a smooth transition between termination and the forward momentum of your company, it will make the employees who are remaining feel less threatened. Online access to accounts. And I'm not just talking about your company account. I'm talking about your clients' accounts as well. On average, I've seen businesses have at least 20 to 25 online accounts. I personally, for my business, Nina Ross Business Consulting, I have at least 35 accounts that are managed online, Office Depot, web domains, Microsoft, rent, social media accounts. If this employee that is about to be terminated manages all of those accounts, what you need to do, actually what you should always do regardless, is to have a list of the username, password, PIN number, and also, and this is most important, make sure that you, the business owner, is listed as the owner of that account. Either the business owner, one of the partner's owners, or your company name listed. This is incredibly important because, again, I speak based on experience, and if you do not own the account, no matter that your credit card is the one paying for the services on the account, you can't control the account, and that includes your client's accounts as well. Remote access. Nowadays, we all work remotely to some degree. This is one of the areas where you should start working on limiting that employee's access to your servers, your computers, your customers' accounts, your corporate accounts. Company property includes credit cards, office keys, laptops, cell phones, uniforms, anything that this employee uses on a daily basis that your company supplied. These are things you will want to make sure you have a list of. So when you have terminated this employee, you're sure that you're getting everything back. Notifying key customers and clients, and again, this is just my recommendation, is a big deal. And the reason why is that a lot of customers and a lot of clients do get attached to employees. And if you are the person who's telling them and explaining to them why this person was terminated, it would sound better coming from you versus once you have terminated this employee, they go to the client and they give their side of the story, and then you've got a client who probably will be upset, wondering why their favorite person is no longer with the company. Passcodes, depending on what your company has set up, alarm codes, online accounts, gate codes. Prepare your termination documents. I don't know how your business is set up, but if you were my client, there would be termination certificates and termination documents that employees would sign off on. In addition, if your employment attorney gave you a severance agreement and any other types of documents along those lines, those would be part of the termination documents as well. Let's talk about severance pay. Will you be paying a severance? TWC does not require you pay an employee any type of severance pay upon termination. So you have to decide if that's something you're going to do. If you are, you need to prepare that final paycheck. You have to calculate the final paycheck up through the day of termination. I recommend that employees are paid a final paycheck in a tangible check, not electronically. Well, why? Because I have heard, I've not experienced this, nor have I ever had a client that did this, but I did hear of a company that kept a terminated employee on their direct deposit. So this person, I think for 2 or 3 paychecks, still received a paycheck post-termination. The best way to deal with that is to take them off of direct deposit. Make sure they get a final pay check, paper. PTO. If your company pays out unused PTO, this is also another financial that you will need to resolve through termination. Cease payments and contributions to 401ks, flex accounts, and things like that. Let's talk about security. I did have an employee that I refused to let in the building. I terminated him away from the office because he did pose a security threat. Everything turned out fine with that. He did not come back in to destroy the office like he had threatened. So you have to make those types of determinations on your own. If you have someone who is a security threat, I would recommend you not terminate them inside your office. And if they are there, I would recommend calling police, letting them know of the situation, and requesting that they be on standby in case there is some type of issue. If your building has security, you would always notify the security and let them know that you terminated an employee and let them know why. And if possible, let them see a picture of that person. That way, if the person comes into the building post-termination, they can be stopped by security. Establish a termination date. When is this actually going to happen? I recommend that you do not terminate an employee on anniversaries, their birthdays, and holidays, personal holidays such as that. Where will you terminate? I recommend terminating an employee in a neutral place, not in a closed-in office where everyone is feeling trapped. Conference rooms typically work best for me. Insurance benefits. You would have to get with your insurance agent, and you can schedule when that person is no longer going to be with the company. I typically will call the insurance agent, and then I will say, I'm going to terminate blah, blah, blah person, and please terminate their insurance at the end of the month or whenever that payment cycle is about to end. And this is something that can be scheduled. And make sure you get that termination certification in writing from the insurance agent. And this includes health insurance, dental, any other types of insurances you have, life insurance, short-term, long-term disability. In Texas, we have to notify Texas new hire with the Attorney General, and you have to let the Attorney General know that the employee is no longer with the company. You just submit the termination date. Finally, wage garnishments. You must notify the entity that you are paying these wage garnishments to, that one, the person is no longer with the company effective blah, blah, blah date, and two, you must let them know we don't know where the person is going once they leave your employment. This is not an all-inclusive list of things that you would have on your termination checklist. This video was meant to get you started on your termination checklist. Each company has its own set of guidelines, its own set of rules. There are other things that I'm sure your company would have to do that would be different from this other person's company. Use the information in this video to tailor and fit it within your own company. I hope this video was helpful for you. Please, if you like the video, please click the thumbs up or the thumbs down button. YouTube looks at it all the same as engagement. And also leave me some comments. Tell me some of the things that you need to do prior to terminating an employee. I'm always adding to my list as well. Thank you for watching.